What's up guys, Alvaro here. Welcome to the Bilingual Stock Market channel again. You guys already know this channel. This is the YouTube channel in which we talk about the markets, but we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. And in this video, as I do it Mondays through Thursdays, I want to make a quick stock market update, even though the markets are closed today in observance of Memorial Day. And by the way, happy Memorial Day for everyone. Thanks to all the veterans out there, and obviously thank you very much for your service. So in this video, I want to break down some technicals. I want to go over the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 in order to try to figure out where the markets could potentially go during this week. And at the end of the video, I am going to be breaking down also from a technical standpoint the three stocks, well, in this case, two cryptocurrencies, Ethereum and Bitcoin, and Apple, one stock, that are going to be on the top of my watch list for tomorrow's trading session. So let's get started. And mind you guys, on Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will have very important and sensitive economic data coming out, because we will have the jobs reports of May. So we can easily make the case that if that report happens to come out way better than expected, that might affect in a negative way growth stocks, tech stocks, and higher multiple stocks in general terms, because that is going to be a sign that the economy is overheating. Whereas if that report happens to come weaker than expected, that could be good news for higher multiple stocks and tech stocks and growth stocks in general terms. So be mindful of that for Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when it comes to the most anticipated earnings for this week, guys, I would say that, in my opinion, the most important earnings to keep a close watch on during this week are going to be Zoom Video Communications. They are reporting earnings tomorrow after close. Then on Wednesday after close, we will have Cloudera. And then on Thursday after close as well, we will have DocuSign, ChargePoint, and Slack Technologies. So in my opinion, those are going to be definitely the earnings that I am going to be keeping a close watch on. And when it comes to the S&P 500, guys, what could potentially happen in the S&P 500 this week? And mind you, as of now, we have the futures markets opened, even though the markets are closed in observance of Memorial Day, but the futures markets are opened. And as of now, we have the S&P 500 down 0.24%, and the Nasdaq 100 is down 0.15%. So nothing to be worried about the futures markets right now. So let me zoom in here on the 4 hour. And if you guys remember, in the video that we posted last Thursday, I called out a bull flag pattern on the 4 hour chart of the S&P 500. So what has to happen for this bull flag pattern in order to be completed throughout this week? Well, the bulls have to take on 4217, which is an area of overhead resistance in which they already failed at in 1, 2, 3, and 4 times before. So for me, this is crystal clear, guys. The second the bulls take on 4217 on good volume and momentum, the next stop is going to be all-time high at 4238. So that would be that would imply the completion of this bull flag pattern on the 4 hour chart in the S&P 500. And from a support standpoint, the most important area of support throughout this week is going to be 4180. Remember that 4180 is a very important previous area of support for the bulls in the S&P 500 that already acted as such in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 opportunities before, but it also acted as a resistance back on April 16th. So watch out for 4217. That's the most important task that the bulls have throughout this upcoming week in the S&P 500. And from a support standpoint, the most important area to keep a close watch on is going to be 4180. And when it comes to the Nasdaq 100, we are in a very similar situation relative to the S&P 500. So let me zoom in here a bit more And here you guys can see this very clear bull flag pattern, all right? So what has to happen on the 4-hour chart for the bulls of the Nasdaq 100 in order to be able to complete this bull flag pattern? Well, they have to take on 13,760 points, which was the level in which the bulls in the Nasdaq 100 failed at on last Friday's trading session. So I'm thinking, guys, that if the bulls happen to be able to take on this level, 13,760 points, they are going to be able to fill the gap up to the next important area of resistance for the bulls in the Nasdaq 100 at around 13,900 points, which is a previous area of support that already acted as such back on April 12th, and it also acted as a resistance back on February 12th. And from a support standpoint, guys, I am going to be looking at 13,600 points, which is an area, which is a level that acted as a lower support back on May 24th. So watch out for 13,600 points as a lower support in tomorrow's trading session, and let's see if the bulls can accomplish the task of breaking out of 13,760 points in the Nasdaq 100. And now let's go ahead and take a look at good old Bitcoin. And in the case of Bitcoin, guys, I opened a swing position on Saturday, and as of now, I have an average cost over here of $35,507. My equity equals almost $3,700. And as of now, I have an unrealized gain of almost $200. Bitcoin has recovered pretty well since last night when we saw $33,500, I think. So what's my plan when it comes to this swing position that I opened last Saturday? So I am willing to buy more Bitcoin, guys, if we happen to see $34,240 ish, which was the lower support, or acted as a lower support for Bitcoin this morning. And at that price, I am going to be adding more Bitcoin to the position that I just showed you. And if Bitcoin happens to drop down further and visits the $33,690-ish, that's another price in which I am willing to buy more Bitcoin at, because we are talking about a previous area of support that already acted as such back on May 23rd. And from a technical standpoint, guys, take a look at how Bitcoin is about to test the 180 SMA on the 1 hour chart, sorry. So I'm thinking that if Bitcoin happens to take on this 180 SMA on the 1 hour chart at around $38,000, it could potentially be able to fill the gap up to the next very important area of resistance for the bulls of Bitcoin at around $42,316, which is a previous area of support that already acted as such in 1, 2, 3, and 4 opportunities before, and therefore it turned into a very important area of resistance for the bulls of Bitcoin, in which the bulls of Bitcoin failed at back on May 20th and also back on May 21st. So let's see what happens with Bitcoin, guys. I am still very bullish when it comes to this cryptocurrency, and the more it drops, the more I am going to be adding Bitcoin to the swing position that I just showed you. And if Bitcoin happens to keep on pulling up, then my price target to close this position, my price target in order to lock in the profit, is going to be $42,316, which, as I said before, has turned into a very important area of resistance for the bulls of Bitcoin. And now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. And in the case of Ethereum, guys, I also opened a swing position with this cryptocurrency on Saturday, and as of now I have an average cost of $2,500. My equity equals $5,200, and I have an unrealized gain as of now of $270. So what's my plan when it comes to this swing trade that I am taking on Ethereum? Well, I want to buy more Ethereum if we happens to see $2,100 or $2,170, which acted as a lower support this morning, but this is no coincidence, guys, because $2,170 already acted as a lower support for the bulls of Ethereum back on May 22nd, also back on May 21st, and it also did the same back on May 19th. So in my opinion, $2,170 is a very good price to load up on Ethereum, and if we happen to see once again $1,700, which is a price, which is an area that acted as a lower support for the bulls of Ethereum back on May 23rd at that price, or even lower than that, hopefully, I would be loading up on Ethereum in a very aggressive way. From a resistance standpoint, I am going to be looking at $2,900. $2,900 has turned into a critical area of resistance for the bulls of Ethereum, because the bulls of Ethereum already failed at that price in 1, 2, 3, and 4 opportunities before. So for all intents and purposes, for me, in order to close this swing position, I am going to be locking in the profit at $2,900. So now the $1 million question is Ethereum going to be able to burst above $2,900 before paying another visit to the $2,170, not to mention $1,700? That's the $1 million question over here. So let's see what happens in the case of Ethereum. And now let's go ahead and take a look at good old Apple. And in the case of Apple, guys, we had good news and bad news last week when it comes to upgrades and downgrades. So KGI Securities initiated coverage on Apple with outperform rating and a price target of $160. And Apple also got downgraded. Let me see if I can find the news over here. New Street Research downgraded Apple to sell, and they announced a price target of $90. So what do you guys think? Where do you guys see Apple going in the short term, or let's say 12 months out? Because when we talk about downgrades and upgrades, we are talking about 12 months out. Do you think that Apple can be at $90 1 year out, or at $160? Please drop a comment down below and let me know your opinion. And in my case, I am on the bullish side, guys. I recently opened a swing position on Apple, so as of now I own 40 shares at an average cost of $125.58, and as of now I have over here an unrealized loss of $37, nothing to be worried about. And what's my plan when it comes to this swing position? Okay guys, I am going to be loading up on Apple in a very aggressive way if we happen to see $120. $120 is a very important previous area of support for the bulls of Apple that already acted as such in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 occasions before. So at that price, and as I said before, I am going to be loading up on Apple in a very aggressive way. However, guys, I'm taking into account that Apple closed last Friday's trading session at $124.61, and it actually went down 0.53%. So if I happen to see Apple bursting above $126, which is a very important previous area of support and resistance for Apple, because it acted as a resistance in 2 occasions before, but it also acted as a support back in January 6th and also back on January 20th. So if I happen to see Apple bursting above $126 and trading sideways, let's say during 3 or 4 trading sessions in a row, slightly above $126, I am going to add more shares to the position that I just showed you, because I think, guys, and I am pretty sure, and this is my opinion obviously, and remember that I am not a financial advisor, so if any of you wants to take a trade on Apple, you have to do your own research work and reach your own conclusions. But I think that the second Apple happens to burst above this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, it is very but very likely to fill the gap up to the next important area of resistance for Apple at around $138. $138 is going to be a very tough spot for the bulls of Apple, because we are talking about a very important previous area of resistance that already acted as such back on April 28th, and it also acted as a resistance back on December 29th, and it also acted as a resistance, by the way, back on February 4th. So for all intents and purposes, for me to close this swing position, I am going to be locking in the profit at $138, and in the meantime, I am going to keep on adding more shares to the swing position that I already opened, depending on the price action that I see on Apple. So let's see what happens on Apple, and let's see if I can keep on adding more shares at $120, or on the flip side, if Apple happens to be able to burst above $126, and by doing so, I am going to buy more shares above $126 in the case of Apple. And with Apple, I am going to wrap up the video. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for hanging out with me once again. Remember, guys, that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are posting these stock market update videos Mondays through Thursdays right after the market closes. So if you want to get the notifications, all of the notifications of our videos in a timely manner, you have to be subscribed to the channel, but you also need to activate the notification bell right up there. Follow us on Instagram, guys, at Bilingual Stock Market. On our Instagram account, we are posting news and information on a daily basis, but most importantly, I am posting call outs about the stocks that I am about to buy throughout the trading session. So if you want to also have access to that content, go ahead and follow us on Instagram as well. And remember that this is the Bilingual Stock Market channel, the YouTube channel in which we talk about the markets, but we do things a bit differently because we talk about the markets in English and Spanish, so you can pick your preferred language. But most importantly, this is the YouTube channel in which we know that the wonderful world of Wall Street is not for geniuses. It is for entrepreneurs just like you guys and myself. My name is Alvaro, and I will see you guys tomorrow once again as soon as the market closes. Peace out.